Welcome back. Victoria Lola Leon Guerrero from the University of Guam Press is back with us here today. Well, she's the managing editor there. She's also the lead editor and contributing writer of a groundbreaking book capturing one of the most sacred sites on our island. Welcome.
Hafaday, thank you for having me.
Thank you. And tell us more about this book. It's called Litekyan.
Litekyan, Portraits of Life at Litekyan. And so Litekyan is the Chamorro word for Ritidian, which means a stirring place, which kind of represents the waters around Litekyan. But the book captures basically every period of human life in our island's history can be traced at Litekyan. And so we decided to use the theme of life. So in the first portion of the book, Lola, we look at the geology and landforms. We look at the plants and wildlife there, the omelet that's found there, the 8-spot butterfly. And then in the second portion of the book, we look at at the traces of our ancestors, so the first signs of human life at Litekyan. And so there's amazing caves with pictographs and handprints from our ancestors, different pottery and artifacts that can be found throughout the area. And then we also draw what the pots would have looked like, and we organize it by period of time. Nice. And then basically we had an incredible photographer, Anthony Jr. Tamayo, who captured a lot of the space. And so he spent several months at Litekyan taking these incredible photos. And so these are some of the laddie sites there. There are 15 laddie houses that were recently rediscovered. And so we captured what these houses look like, but also the intricate details of each of the laddie. And then as the book progresses, we progress through time to our recent history. And so we include historic photos from the original landowners. So these are photos from the 50s, from the Flores family, whose land was condemned by the Navy and then eventually by the wildlife refuge. And so they gave photos of their family, and we included that as well. And then to today, what the space is used for today. So looking at the beautiful beach that families go to every weekend and throughout the week for fishing. There's another landowning family, the Sablan brothers. They go and fish almost every day. So there's photos of them fishing. And then also a lot of the conservation efforts that occur there. So we have, and the educational studies. So we have students learning about the Lati. We have pictures of Hagen Watch going, and then also the traditional knowledge. So a lot of local groups go to Litekyan for ceremonies. There's also different, like this is Ifan Latlayan, and they presented an altar and all the different aspects of the altar and what it means.
It's very beautiful.
Yeah, so I could talk forever about the book. But yeah, so the idea behind it is that Litekyan is one of the few places on our island where you can see traces of human life from every period in history. And so we really wanted to show that from, like I said, from our ancient history to today. And so, you know, the military has plans to build a firing range above Litekyan. And so we also included that contemporary history of, you know, Protehi Litekyan, the group that has organized, which is also made up of a lot of the original landowners, to really resist the placement of the firing range, particularly because it will limit people's access to this incredible space. And so, you know, we were able to work with these community groups. We were able to work with the families. We were able to work with a special permit from the wildlife refuge to really capture everything that's there, because it's important for our community to understand that Litekyan is so much more than just a beach. There's Lati, there's omelet, and there's so much to learn about who we are as a people. And so we worked on this book really hard. It's really in line with the goals of University of Guam Press and the Micronesian Area Research Center. We had our archaeologist, Mike Carson, who's been studying there for 10 years, contribute a lot of his knowledge as well. And so it's really been this tremendous community effort. And so we're launching the book next Thursday, July 26th at 5:30 p.m. at the Lujan House in Hagutnya. We partnered with the Guam Preservation Trust to make the book possible. So they'll be hosting us at the Lujan House, which is also their offices. And the books will be there available for sale for $42.
Nice. And so with all of that, I know this book has a lot of history. And so maybe tell us more about what the goal is when people read this book, or maybe they put it on their coffee tables and they look through these photos. What is kind of the goal and the message you want to get across?
I mean, really just knowledge about who we are. So there's incredible photographs, but we also put a lot into the information that's contained. So in all of the captions, we really try to convey the different periods of our history and everything that we've learned. So we put a lot of research into it. And as I mentioned, it documents all these different periods of life. And so for me, especially reading this and seeing our ancestors' artifacts, things that I've never seen before,
right,
are all contained here. So it's a really wonderful way for us to learn about who we are as a people.
Great. And again, this book is also available to anyone who wants to
Yes.
learn more about Rutidian and Litekyan and that history.
Absolutely. So the launch again is July 26th, but afterwards it'll be available at all the local bookstores, through the University of Guam website and Amazon online. And it's $42, but it's an incredible investment in learning more about who we are.
Perfect. So you do not want to miss and get your hands on this incredible book. There's more after the break.